Well, today I'm doing a park profile on Olmos Basin Park, which, you know, I fish here all the time. It's one of my favorite places to go. Did a little drive through there at the beginning. Now the fishing here, I mean, there's fish here, you can catch them all day, but it can be tough and it's really hard to find anything bigger than, you know, like 10 inches. But it's still, you know, it's still a decent amount of fish. And every once in a while you will find something pretty big. But it's heavily pressured. But besides that, what I like about it is that it's a big place and it is almost never crowded. But even when it is crowded, it's such a big place that there's plenty of room for everybody. And it's like, I know I just said it was pressured, but most people don't come here to go fishing. Fishing is kind of like the last thing people do when they come here. Like, you'll see more people out here LARPing with foam swords and stuff than you will fishing. Anyway, it's fairly big. It's along Olmos Creek. Olmos Creek flows south to the Olmos Dam, and once it hits the dam, on the other side of the dam, it becomes the San Antonio River. And a little further down from that would be the Headwater Sanctuary at Incarnate Word, and then Brackenridge Park and all that. So yeah, it's a pretty small stretch of creek that's fishable. If you go south downstream of here, it gets really shallow and there's not really anywhere to fish. So the main park here, and then upstream that way towards the Quarry Market is fishable. But it's really not a very long stretch of creek that's fishable. It's just, there's a few deep holes in there and you can find fish. So today I'm going to be throwing my typical skinny Senko, and I've got a jig tied on with a crawl. But I don't know if I'm going to stick with that. I might switch it up to a swim bait. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and try to catch some fish. Now, today being as hot as it is, might make it pretty challenging to catch fish here. But it is very shady here. There are trees everywhere. There's plenty of shade, especially once you get further upstream into the creek. And the water is usually really clear. Like right now, I don't know what the camera can pick up, but I can see everything. You see all the bait fish out there. Don't see any bass. The bass typically hang out in the deeper, wider stretches over there. There's some sunfish there. But I'm actually going to head down a little bit farther. I usually start right here and work up, but since this is a park profile, I'm going to go as far as I can and start down there underneath the highway. There goes some cichlids. I am seeing some catchable fish already, but I haven't seen any bass just yet. So get down underneath the highway here by these columns, and this is really the farthest downstream you can go where you can still catch fish. Because after this, like over here, it's already really shallow and everything, but there's a couple little holes right here where there might be fish. But after this, further down, there's just nothing. And even at that, the water level's down pretty far over here. The water should be up to my feet right here, but it's all the way back over there. But there's just enough water here where there could be something hanging out. Let's see what else is there up this way. Right over here. right about here is probably the farthest downstream I'm gonna go, and I can see some fish. I'm trying not to walk up too far to it. Don't want to spook anything away. There's a couple of fish hanging out on the rocks right there. Oh yeah, they are aggressive. Wow. Too bad none of those were bass, but as soon as that hit the water, there was fish fighting over it. Don't know if there's going to be any bass right here. It's definitely deep enough to where it could hold some bass, but it looks like this is all just sunfish. Oh. They are super aggressive in here. Wasn't really expecting it to be like that for this in this kind of heat in the summertime. Let's see what happens when I go that direction. Man, they are. Oh, whoa, there we go, I got one. Oh, he came off. I don't know what that was. Couldn't tell if it was a small bass or most likely a big green sunfish. Now, if you came to this spot right here, plenty of places to stand, just throw out some night crawlers, you'll be catching fish all day. And it's got a surprising amount of depth right here, too. It's probably like 3 to 4 feet right in the middle, but it's just basically just a puddle. Oh, that might be a bass right there. It's hard for these bass to compete with all the green sunfish. Man, he's swimming with it and pulling on it, but... Or do I got one? Man, he does not want to let go of it. He just had the tail. I got one. Let's see if he stays on. I got him hooked? I think I got him hooked. There we go. Tore up my lure, but I got him. It's a little green sunfish. It's only about half the size as the other ones that have been in there, but this is the only one I could hook. Tore up my bait. Wow, there's actually a pretty deep hole right here underneath me. And it looks like a decent spot to fish over here. Get over there. Deep hole over there under that tree. You can see some cichlids swimming around over there. Alright, so there was that concrete. There actually is some kind of a pipe encased in that concrete there, because you can see it at the end. But I walked across that, was fishing off it for a minute. Got plenty of bites, but I didn't catch anything. And then a little bit further upstream, we've got this thing here. That's an actual concrete pipe. And let me leave one of my rods over here. Let me leave my bag too, that way I can keep my balance a little bit better, have as little weight as possible. This thing is not flat like the other one is, so it's a little harder to stand on. But it's also wider, so it's not too bad. This bass right down here at my feet, but I can't get them to bite, so I'm going to cast up over there into the shade. Maybe get something over there. Got something. There we go. It's not a bass, but it's another little green sunfish, about the same size as the last one. fins down. There we go. There we go. Oh, that would have been the smallest one of the day, and I've only caught the tiny ones so far, so that says a lot. So fishing in the warmer months, this is pretty typical for this park. Now I'm doing a park profile here. I'm telling you about the park and how the fishing is here. I'm not saying you're going to come here and catch giant fish. I mean, what I'm catching right now is typical of this park. Green sunfish everywhere. In the cooler months of the year, you can definitely find some decent bass in here. I've done it before. You can look back at my channel. A lot of videos were shot here. But days like today, I don't know where the bass go. There's not that many places for them to hide. There we go, I got one. There we go. That one's fighting pretty decently. Alright, well, it's a little too warm right now to not be catching any bass. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it short there. Only caught a handful of green sunfish and nothing else. But the point of this video wasn't really about catching fish. It was a park profile with fishing in it. So I'm gonna take the trail back to the main park and find something to drink. This ice is not melting fast enough. Like I was saying before, if you come here during the cooler months of the year, especially around the spawn, springtime, you will find a lot of bass and some pretty big ones. Right now, there's nothing. So, unfortunately, yeah, I apologize to everybody for putting out a fishing video where all I catch is little green sunfish. But you know what? This will go along with one of my previous videos about where to take kids fishing. Bring your kids out here. Nice and shady, and throw night crawlers and you'll be catching fish all day. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.